Let's do one more technique here. Look, so, and I will say, he says parts of this in other places. I've heard him talk about the same thing, but Chris Hatter has a great way of talking about how, he's like, have you ever wondered how am I going to develop my game, or how did somebody come up with all this stuff, or whatever? How did Hobson Moore or Hickson Gracie or whoever develop these ideas? I wonder that all the time. I'm just like, everybody that trains with Hickson is like, well, where'd you come up with that? Like, wow. Like everybody says the same thing. It's almost stereotypical, right? But when we do what we do, and then we start playing other games, like I've been playing a lot with escaping side control. And I'm working on a specific set of things with my outside arm, and sometimes I don't win that game. I get crushed. And I can't do techniques or whatever. Because the people you train with all the time, they're going to be the ones to start figuring it out first, right? So that being said, this technique is like something I use that I just discovered, right? Like I'm definitely not the first person to do it. It's just like this scissor sweep we just did, but it's from getting out of sight. And it has this sort of momentum, this build up to fall back down aspect, right? So, right, like sometimes you just cannot get the position you want. So, sometimes I want my arm to be in here. That's what we've been working on recently. I teach that from my countering a guard pass and getting here. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes I just cannot get this underhook game rolling, right? Like he's just not giving me the things I want. He's not making mistakes. He might even be squashing. Okay, so when that happens, I'm going to switch and I'm going to come up. Okay? It would be the same idea. I'm not going to get too complicated with this because I don't use it in any way personally except the way I'm about to show. But if he were to pull me, I could just take his back. Or I go to, like he's going to take my back like earlier, I can just go to this. Okay? But what usually happens when you come in like this is they push back into you. And it's just like a Peterson style technique. So anytime that they're maybe attacking for a darce, right? But when this underhook is getting killed for whatever reason, start going there and step over and then come up and then go back down. Yeah. Boom. Got it. Right? And then get me one more time. Right? So like I just could not, I got like some positioning, but I couldn't get any connection with this underhook. That's where this has been, where I've been playing this the most. Right? So I come inside here. Right? Kind of, you could go into the leg hook. Right? That's not how I've really been doing it. Whatever. Okay? So, then sometimes I just get trapped here. I miss my opportunity to underhook. I do this as a defense when people are passing. Right? Because I time it, and then if I can make space, I can just underhook. Right? So just, that's kind of the interplay here. So as I build up here, right, people are just very apt to push. There we go. Makes sense? Let's work on that one. You're gonna adapt that. That's a technique that I adapted based off of a lot of this other stuff we're doing. When it either doesn't work for me, or it's like just real nearby, or it's like it's the same technique, but a different situation, a different positional. Right? So like, but there I go belly down into kind of a turtle, the leg hook, We went belly down last class, working the underhook with side control when people headlock us, or when we take the back, right? So it's just kind of a adaptation within your game. That's like Howder talks about that on my podcast. Go listen to it. It's really insightful, but it makes you think about it, right? Like when we have rule sets, which really every martial art from the last 100 years is a actual sport rule set. Really, right? Unless you're in the military, using it for other purposes, like martial purposes, right? So, it adapts to the environment that it exists in. We exist in this environment where we're all working on the underhook escape from side control, and we kind of know it's coming and maybe shut it down sometimes, so we adapt. And we come up with something outside of that. Break out of that. What, the underhook doesn't work, I don't have it. It's like, no, you actually have all this other stuff. Well, like what? Like this thing. Oh, okay. Well, then if they push and pull, you have this thing and that thing. And it just splits out like a mind map of like that stuff we did in the main part of the class, the Lego. Right? A's and B's. Any questions? Let's roll. 1, 2.